Well, hi, hello, and a warm welcome to this video where today I'm sharing top 10 tips for positive change. My probably favorite top 10 tips for positive change. Now, if you're really into the mindset stuff, then we have other videos on this channel as well, all about mindset for artists. Mostly we talk about business strategy, but I love to throw in the mindset stuff too, because at the end of the day, I believe mindset is 80% of your success and the strategy is just the 20%. So today we're talking about just sharing some top tips that you can implement right now into your art business, into your day, into your life. Now, talking about positive mindset stuff, over in my Business for Artists Facebook group, I'm actually running a mini challenge right now as I'm shooting this video. Now, if you'd like to join this, probably a little bit too late if you want to actually get in on day one, but you can still take it retrospectively. More importantly, there's loads of great action happening in that Facebook group. So if you'd like to be part of a free online community where other artists around the world hang out online and share how they're growing their art business, different ideas and things, and they're looking for top tips from me, and that's fine, and I'm in there as well, but mostly it's for you guys, you artists, to hang out and share what you're doing, what works, what doesn't work, and then every now and then we run some challenges. Right now we're running a mindset challenge. In a few weeks' time, we're going to be running a different type of challenge around the topic of marketing. So we'll share that a little bit closer to time, but if you like to be a part of that challenge, you need to get in the Facebook group. Link below this video. All right, if you're new here to this channel, my name's Sophie Mahir, and I help artists make a living from their art or creativity by building a profitable, stable business doing what they love. And on this channel, like I said, we normally talk business strategy, but today we're doing the mindset stuff. So let's go ahead and dive straight in. All right, so in no particular order, because I said my top 10 tips for positive change, but there's no real way to put these in any order. So number one is to be open for learning. I can't stress this enough. One of the things I didn't do in the previous incarnation of my art business was actually continue with my learning. And it definitely meant that I then eventually creatively just dried up. I wasn't pushing myself to learn new things, to get out of the comfort zone, to try and expand my knowledge base. So tip number one, definitely keep the learning, learn new things. It will enable you to grow in ways you haven't even imagined yet. All right, number two, don't get in your own way. Have you ever heard this before where, you want to get success, you want to get to the vision, you want to reach your goal, and there's, and you sort of think to yourself, well, what's stopping me? What's actually in the way? And very often, it's usually us. We're stopping ourselves. And that can take various different forms. That can be from a belief angle. You hold a belief that you're never going to be successful, or you conveniently hold a belief it's just not for me, it's not for people like me. And so therefore you don't take the action and you don't move forward in an empowering way and you don't reach your goal. So by focusing on getting out of our own way, what does that really mean? That means that we've got to become aware of what we're thinking, what we're doing as actions, the quality of actions, the people that we're hanging out with, whether we're doing number one or not, sort of learning and growing, or whether we're just doing the same thing over and over and expecting a new result, because we all know how that one goes. Most of us self-sabotage at some point or another. So you need to be in a place where you can just remove yourself from the situation and say, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to build an art business and I want to be really successful. But my sabotage is saying it's not happening for people like me. If I took myself out of the equation and I imagined that it was somebody else wanting that thing, what actions would that person do? What mindset would that person have? How would they be looking and dealing with that situation? So if you can take yourself out of the equation, then that's going to be brilliant as well. So number three is create opportunities. Be aware of opportunities. So this is sometimes can just be as easy as really having your eyes open. When there's something happening, you meet somebody, you read some material, something pops up in the email inbox that you maybe would normally just delete. just be aware of what could be an opportunity. You want to be actively creating opportunities too, because in order to move forward, there needs to be some change, there needs to be some energy, some activity. So creating opportunities for yourself can actually be really, really valuable. Just staying open to. Now, this is not to say that you need to say yes to all of them, because quite often on my time management videos, I talk about saying no and putting some boundaries in place. But this is different. You do want to stay open to what could be possible for you, and then decide if it's at the right time or the right thing you want to take forward. So definitely, in order to expand your mindset and expand your growth, staying open to opportunities is going to be absolutely important. Number 4, I love this one, explore new ways of doing things. Have you ever done that simple exercise, where you take your watch off one wrist and put it on the other? Or, in the days when you walked to work, you walk a different way, or you always go to the same shop to buy something, or you always look at the same thing, or you do the same routine when you come up into in my case, come up into my studio, or you do the same routine when you get up in the morning, or you go to bed, or you're preparing food, or whatever it might be. Change it up, because by changing up what you're doing, it gets your brain to start thinking differently. And again, this is really important for us creatives to be doing things differently. That's why when you keep learning, you take a new course, that helps you to get out of your comfort zone. So therefore you expand, you grow, you try things that you wouldn't normally try. And so it's really, really important. So super, super valuable. Okay, number 5, once you've explored new things, you also now want to challenge yourself. And this is taking this a whole level further, right? This is about getting outside of your comfort zone. This is about doing something maybe every day that feels awkward or feels difficult, or is actually more of a challenge for you. Because if we stay where we are, we stay doing the same thing, we play small, we don't ever, move forward, then the chance of you actually getting to where you want to go is pretty slim, all right? It does involve actually sort of upscaling and trying different things, all right? One of which is getting outside your comfort zone. So you might say to yourself, well, okay, what could I do today that's uncomfortable for me? Is it I could make a phone call to that customer inquiry? I could ring a gallery that I feel a bit awkward about ringing. So quite often it's a phone call, isn't it, for artists? So is it, that you actually need to do or organize an outward bound activity that's something that you're like actually frightens you? Heights. I'm not too great with heights. That's always something I'll do if I want a growth experience. So how to get out of your comfort zone and do something you wouldn't normally do. And when you've done it, you look back and you think that wasn't so difficult. All right, so once we've done that, I know that keeping positive is obvious, but you're probably going to think to yourself, yeah, I know that, Sophie. I know that keeping positive, but are you doing it? Are you actually looking at the positive or the negative? Are you staying conscious with what you're doing? Are you consciously making decisions? Are you aware of what's falling out of your mouth on a day-to-day basis? It's so easy to go to the jar half full and see the thing that isn't working. You wake up in the morning like, oh, it's cold and raining. Oh, it's going to be dark. It's going to be difficult to paint in the studio today. Or, oh, the news is really negative. It's really bad. Or, oh, I've run out of this. I haven't got any more of that. Do you see? It's like this constant. It's very easy to do, and I feel like we're a little bit default. That default programming as human beings seems to be what's not working, what's missing, what's wrong, what didn't work too well, rather than, hey, okay, it's raining today. I like the smell of rain. It's really good for the plants in the garden. I can't remember my examples now, but okay, so I haven't got any of that colour, I've run out of that colour, but what happens if I use all these colours? Maybe I can get a different experience, I try something, and what might happen is that you end up incorporating some of the other tips. So instead of just doing that default thing of seeing what's not wrong, we all love a complaint, right? And as a Brit, I'm famous for complaining about things. So staying positive is also about staying consciously aware of what you're saying, what you're saying to someone else, how you're reacting. If somebody else is being a little bit, oh, it's all doom and gloom, I don't know how we could do it, I don't know how we could ever make this work, and a lot of negative things are coming out, it might be up to you to just kind of be the opposite and say, hey, isn't it great that? And I know that sometimes people make jokes and say, oh, you're always positive. Well, we're not always positive, but we want to try and aim to be more positive than not, right? So this is a conscious awareness trick. So in your next day, stay really aware of what you're saying, how you're behaving, how you're reacting. Do you hear something and go, oh yeah, well that's typical, that would happen? Or do you hear something and go, oh okay, that's interesting, I'm doing this instead? Or how do you turn something around or reframe something to make it positive for you? I can promise the more of that you do, the better results are going to show up in your world, better opportunities are going to show up. All right, so number 7, I kind of feel like this is not just a top tip, this incorporates everything about mindset and probably should have come first or last, but there's no order to my list. So this is about managing your emotional states. So one of the ways to get the positive change in our life is to actually manage how we feel about things and how much of an electric charge or energy that we're giving to something. So by doing this, it's the difference between sitting up straight and deciding to okay, I feel good, I've got a good energy in my day, or kind of slumping. I can't really do it. So slumping, it's quite hard to feel powerful and engaged when you're kind of physically slumping. So one of the ways you can get hold of your emotional states is by standing, is by walking, is by holding yourself, is by listening to music that's good and positive, or a podcast or something that's a positive YouTube video that holds you to a higher standard, that you literally in your body can feel more alert, more awake, more alive, and more wanting to do something. And when you raise your energy, you raise actually your outputs as well. So, and then you can take control of your emotional states. If you're having a day where you wake up and you just feel really groggy and sad and miserable, you say, okay, let's change this up. How can I get myself into the state I know I need to be to create a masterpiece or to work on what I'm working on? And that might mean that you need to go and have that playlist listening to the music. You need to go outside and pound outside in the rain, in the pouring rain, and feel good about it. And you can change how you're feeling in a heartbeat, actually, once you get really good at it. So changing emotional states, absolutely fundamental for all our mindset work. All right, upscaling everything. I kind of like this one. So that could be everything in your day-to-day life. Like, where can you upscale? It could be where you started out painting with student paints. Now is the moment to go to artist paints. You're using an old palette and it's a bit broken. Go get yourself something better. Invest in something a bit better. Upscale the canvas. Upscale the things that you're creating. You're building your business online. Upscale the software that you're doing. Are you trying to struggle with the free version of something when you just need to part with a little incy bit of money every month? Upscale and get something that works more efficiently and works better for you. What about in your life? I often think about the food upscaling. I've been on quite a food and health journey, and it's something I'm super passionate about and I love. And I love the upscaling. And sometimes it's like, well, okay, people say we should eat organic veg. What if you really are in a position that you can't financially afford organic veg? What's the next best version you could get? You look at the vegetables and it's like, well, I won't get them in the plastic packet. I'll get them loose with the soil on from the farmer's market. That's upscaling. And then from there, you can get the organic veg, or you can get it from somewhere else. You can upscale everything. I actually looked and did a whole scale for myself once about food and drink and supplements. You can always upscale everything. You'll get a better experience of life if you can just start to think about the upscaling. You don't need to do it all today, but you can certainly be thinking, okay, where could I just upscale in my life? What's a bit of equipment that's going to work better? You're trying to work with an old phone and it's time to get a new iPhone on that gives you all the capabilities of doing all your social media and will work faster and will save you time, all of that sort of stuff. So really thinking about where you can upscale. I love that one of my favorite top tips. All right, number 9, take action every day. So it's really easy to have a no day, an off day, a non-day, and you definitely need to have those as well. We need to have completely, I'm not doing anything today. But you need to be looking at, if you want to grow a successful art business, which is, I guess, why you're watching these videos, then you need to ask yourself, what am I doing today that's moving myself towards that? What's one positive action I can take that will move me one step closer to my vision or my goal? So you want to be taking some sort of action every day, even if it's just small action. It's the consistency. Every day, small action builds up to a big result. But if all you do is just take big action and then you don't do anything for 2 months, and then, again, then the mindset can kick in. So by doing something small every day, you have something to feel good about at the end of the day. All right, we're nearly there. Number 10, top tip number 10. Understand that you are responsible for everything. Now, I know this, for people who know this personal development journey and mindset stuff, they'll be like, yeah, I've heard that before, I know that. But for those people who just, this is the first time you're watching anything like this, sometimes this can feel a bit of a challenging statement. Understand that we are responsible for everything, our outcomes. What we think about, what we focus on, actually is going to come into our world. So if we're focusing on the good stuff, we're going to get the good stuff. If we're focusing on the not good stuff, the bad stuff, we're going to get the bad stuff. And that's more about quantum physics, law of attraction, other stuff that I love to talk about. And I don't think I've broached on this channel yet, but watch this space. If you love some law of attraction or more kind of manifesting sorts of videos, then let me know in the comments below, because that's something that I'm really happy to do. I have a whole background in all of this stuff, and I love to share it all. But just understanding that we create our results. We are responsible. The moment you wake up in the morning, you're making a decision. You're making a decision to get out of bed. You're making a decision to eat something that's good for you, something that's not good for you. You're making a decision to move your body, to not move your body, to answer that important email, to not answer it, to feel good, to change your emotional state, or to not bother and feel doom and gloom all day, to hang out with positive people or not positive people, right? We are all the time treading that path to our future. So I'm assuming that you want a really great future, a creative and abundant, a beautiful future. And you want to remain aware that you are creating that. Every breath that we take, every minute, every action, every thought, everything that we're doing is paving the way, is creating our future. So just understanding that, I think, can be super helpful, because again, we can gain more conscious awareness around what we're doing. How are we spending our time? What are we allowing in our thoughts? And what's the action that we're taking? So I hope you've enjoyed this video. And like I say, if you like some more of this type of woo-woo video, let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if you're going to implement any of these top tips, or you do already, or which one really resonates with you. What do you like most? What do you want to take forward? So thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. And if you've loved this one, give us a like, because it really helps with building my YouTube video. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.